Hi, Geometry. Welcome to 12.3. This is a nice quick one because it's just like permutations, but it's called a combination. Now what's interesting is you've probably heard of combination locks, but technically those are permutation locks because order matters. Combinations, order does not matter. So our learning targets, I can use combinations to count possibilities, and I can find the probability of an event. So just like permutations, combinations work with a subset out of a whole. So to evaluate for warm-up, let's practice these permutations. Remember, we have 6 factorial. Don't like that pen. Let's try it again. 6, use black ink, factorial over 6 minus 2, the quantity, factorial. So that's 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And then 6 minus 2 is 4. So 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And these all cancel out, and you have left 6 times 5, which is 30. Alright, so in case you don't remember, on a calculator, you have to press 6. Maybe turn it that way. There we go. Then press math. Go over to probability. We go backwards. And go down to number 4. So 6 factorial, enter, you have 720. So remember, you press 6, then math, go over to PRB, go down to number 4, which is factorial, enter. Oh, you don't want this one. Go down to number 2. Ah, darn it. I can't believe I just did that. I'm so used to doing the other one. Go down to number 2, which is N P R. There we go. Enter. And then that's NPR. Then you type in number 2, and you'll get 30. Alright, sorry about that. So let's try it again. I did do the factorial right in calculator, but okay, so 6, math, go over to PRB, or prob. Actually, I think PRB was on my old calculator. Go down to number 2. You see that says NPR? Enter, 2, enter. 30! You see that? There you go. Alright, how about this one? 15 factorial over 15 minus 8 factorial. And I'm going to go ahead and use the calculator, and this is 259,459,200. Yeah, crazy. Alright, you are given 6 tiles, EKMNOY, face down in no particular order. Maybe this is a Scrabble game. Find the probability that you flip those letters over and it spells monkey from left to right. Well, first of all, how many ways can these 6 letters be arranged? Well, there's your 6 factorial that I was telling you about, and that's equal to 720. And then there's only one way it can actually spell monkey, so the probability that it spells monkey would equal 1 out of the 720, or you can write 1 over 6 factorial. Here we go. Combination. Is a selection of objects in which order is not important. Not. Okay? So one thing I want you to notice, look at this formula. It looks exactly the same as a permutation, except this little part here. Okay? What this is doing is, remember order was important before? Well, order is now not important. So what you're doing is you're dividing by the number of ways your subset can be arranged. So you're dividing out that order. You're dividing out the ordering of your subset. Okay? Now, one thing, combinations are much more popular than permutations because there's so much you can do with algebra, and I might show you in a little bit, but it may also be written like this. Of course, I like this one just because that's what the calculator uses. And it also may be written like this. It was interesting. I went through my old college notes and we wrote it like this all the time. So then I said, check out Pascal's triangle. And you're going to notice on the next page, I have a copy of that. Okay? But we only have notes on this page, so here we go. Example 1A. How many ways can a committee of 3 be selected from a club of 20? So let's say you want a committee of 3 people to figure out what color to paint the building. Well, it doesn't matter who is selected first. It's just the first 3 are selected and they're going to do the work. So order is not important. We don't have officers like president, VP, treasurer. This is just a group. So it is 20C3. So that's 20 factorial over 20 minus 3 factorial. Notice I left a space like that, or a space right here, because this looks exactly like the permutation, but now we're going to divide out the number of ways that subset of 3 can be ordered. So that's why you have that additional dividing out. So 20 factorial is 20 times 19 times 18 times 17, all the way down to 1. Well, what's 20 minus 3? 20 minus 3 is 17 times 16, all the way down to 1. And notice these will all cancel. And then we have an additional 3 factorial. 3 times 2 times 1. So basically, you're just looking at this divided by this. And when you work that out, you should get 1140. So how you do that on the calculator? Just like the permutation, I'm not going to put the instructions on here. Oh, how come it worked a little bit ago and now it's not? Okay, so we want 20C3. So I'm going to press 20. Press math. Oop. Math. Go over to probability. Go down to NCR. It's the third one. Enter. 3. Enter. 1140. Okay? Now you can choose 2 courses out of a list of 6. So high school registration's coming up. How many combinations of electives are possible? So that's 6C2. It doesn't matter which one you picked first. You're going to be taking those 2 classes. So 6 factorial over 6 minus 2 factorial times 2 factorial. 6 times 5, crazy 5. 4, 3, 2, 1 over 6 minus 2 is 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 2 factorial is 2 times 1. These all cancel. 6 times 5 is 30, divided by 2, you get 15. Now you're probably discovering that combinations are always going to be smaller than the permutation because you're dividing out by more stuff. Count the combinations of 2 letters from a list of A, B, C, D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want 2 out of the 5. So I have 5C2, which is equal to 5 factorial over 5 minus 3 factorial times 5 minus 2 factorial times 2 factorial. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I was thinking the 3 because I'm subtracting in my head. 5 minus 2 is 3 factorial, 2, 1, and then times 2 factorial. 2 times 1. So again, these divide out. 5 times 4 is 20. Divide by 2, you get 10. Your teacher randomly chooses 2 out of 18 students to give an impromptu debate on freedom of the press in high school newspapers. What is the probability that Caitlin and Alex are chosen? So 18C2, it doesn't matter who is chosen first. That's 18 factorial over 18 minus 2 factorial times 2 factorial. So this is 18, 17, 16, 15, etc. All the way down to 1. 18 minus 2 is 16 times 15 times all the way down to 1. And then 2 factorial is 2 times 1. So these all cancel. 2 goes into 18 9 times, so 9 times 17 is 153. Of course, if we do that in the calculator, I have 18. There it is. Math. Go to probability. Go down to number 3, NCR. And I wanted to pick 2. Can you see that good? Enter. 153. All right. Now, why is the Pascal's triangle on the next page? Because I know notes are done. You can turn this off, but this is actually pretty cool. All right, so how Pascal's triangle works is you have ones on the outside. Then the two values above it will add up to give you the number below. So if I add up 1 and 2, I get 3. Add up 2 and 1, I get 3. Add up 3 and 3, I get 6. 1 and 3, I get 4, etc. So that's how this works. Like if I want to do the next line, put a 1 here. 1 plus 16 is 17, etc. and keep going across. All right, so why this is important. First of all, this is used a lot for binomial expansion. For instance, if I said, all right, what's 2x plus 3y to the 5th power? You'd have to do 2x plus 3y times 2x plus 3y 5 times. It's like a massive foil Belgrande. It would be horrible to do. This actually helps it a lot. But that's in Algebra 2. So if you want to know how to do that, it's actually really easy. And it also blows your mind on how teachers can do that in their head because they're using Pascal's triangle. All right. The other thing is this does combinations, such as 6C2. So what you do is you look at the 6th row. This is position 0, position 1, position 2. That's equal to 15. 8C4. So this is the 8th row. You go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The answer is 70. Okay. I also want to do 6C4. So go back to row 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We get 15. What do you notice about these two? They're the same. Okay? And also, look at this. 2 plus 4 is 6. The reason they're the same is because Pascal's triangle is symmetrical. So that's always going to happen. So that means if you had this, let's say, I'll just pick number 15C5, that's going to be the same as 15C10. Because the 5 and 10 add up to equal 15. And let's see what that answer is. You go to the 15th row, start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be 3003. You can go ahead and use the calculator if you want. 15. Oh. Math. Prob. 3. 5. Enter. There's your final answer. And there is when I entered it. All right. So here's our homework. And a lot of standards. Okay. If you have any questions, please ask. Have a nice Easter break. And I hope track went well.